Welcome to episode 37 of the Cohesive Home podcast. Today, we're getting in the spirit of all things back to school and talking about our favorite ways to plan and stay organized while raising kids and juggling all the things we do. But before we get to that, a word about this episode's sponsor, Kind Snacks. Have you ever tried a Kind bar? You may have seen them in your local grocery store, coffee shop, or gym. They make delicious, healthy snacks using whole ingredients you can recognize and pronounce.
Well, and as you know, Melissa, our whole family is gluten-free, so I love that I can actually find these bars pretty much anywhere and get a quick and healthy snack for my family.
So if you're ready to try some tasty and healthy snacks, we've got a special deal for our Cohesive Home listeners. You can actually try 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay the shipping. It's called a sample box, and when you order that, you'll get to try Kind's Snack Club, where you'll receive monthly snacks at a discount and get members-only bonuses.
You shouldn't have to choose between your health and taste when it comes to snacking, and that's why both award-winning chefs and nutritionists love and recommend Kind bars. You know, I tried their 10 snack sample box recently, and, I really enjoyed all of the flavors, but my favorite is definitely the almond and coconut.
And while we were traveling this last week, we actually tried the mint one. It tastes like deliciousness. I don't even know. It's chocolate and mint. Oh my gosh, you have to try it. So if you want to pick up your free sample box, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. Thank you so much to Kind for sponsoring the Cohesive Home podcast.
So in episode 11, do you remember, Melissa, we talked about the planners that we were using at the time, and also I think how we scheduled out our days.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then this last Friday in our Q&A, we shared our typical days. So today we thought it would be fun to kind of like continue with the same theme and just talk a little bit more about our lives and our favorite ways to plan out our schedules. So Melissa, I remember from last time that you were so big on paper planners. Are you still using them? What's your current method?
Paper all the way.
Oh, dude.
I'm still paper. I cannot help it. I
just
love
can't
it.
quit it.
I just can't quit. So I actually came up with a system that's working really, really well for me.
Really?
Because what I realize is that I need a month calendar, and so I can write down everything that's going on within the month. But then I don't need a daily, scheduler. I don't need that.
You don't need to block out in 15-minute increments?
I know, because if you did listen to last Friday's, you will know I am way too laid back for that. I will look at that and I'll be like, I will rebel against the schedule, and I will not do that today. So for me, I know that I need to write down my lists. I am a list person, 100%. And so I got it's called a padfolio, I guess. It's just this cushiony type thing. I got it at Target. It's really cute. And you open it up and it has a pocket for my monthly calendar. And then it has a legal pad. And on this legal pad, it has, a to-do list spot and all these things. So it's not perfect because I definitely have different sheets of legal notes of all of my things going on. But I have my monthly calendar and it's just right there. And then I have my lists. So I'll have one sheet for Cohesive Home. I'll have another sheet for, things that I have to go to the store or the things that we need to get done that week. And then the next sheet will, but who knows, just random stuff. But it's my lists because I am such a list person. So I have melded these two things kind of together that work really, really well for me. And actually, I know I showed it to you, Kate, when I came and visited you over the summer. It just works. I love it. and
it's pretty.
it is pretty.
I
It's
mean,
really
like,
cute.
right? Like, from an aesthetic point of view, I want a beautiful planner. Like, I
Yes.
don't want something ugly.
You want to be excited about opening it up, right? I mean, I like looking at pretty things, I think, as do most people. But yeah, I can't have something just like, oh, it's like poop brown.
Hey,
No.
Melissa,
What?
did you ever have one of those Lisa Frank Trapper Keepers?
I'm pretty sure I did. I had a Trapper Keeper. I don't know if it was Lisa Frank, but I do remember those coming out, and they were awesome.
Yeah, with like the rainbows and like the bubbles and the like magical creatures all
Okay. So again, with my rebellion, I know that I had a Trapper Keeper, but I think those may have been, I think the Lisa Frank stuff came out like right after I would have kind of wanted it at
been
that age.
into it, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I had those 3-ring binders that were real rough, and they were like canvas-y, and you could draw all over them. And so I still have a couple of them. I actually use them as old photo albums.
What?
And it's like, yeah. And
Some
it's
minimalist you are.
I know, right? That's my anti-minimalism.
Yeah.
But it's cool because I mean, all my friends, in like 8th and ninth grade, they would grab my little thing and they'd write all over it, and so I have memories that way. It's pretty cool. But I like the paper. I like the physical, like, textile type. Like, I can't. It's hard for me to do. Still hard for me to do digital. How about you?
Okay, well, so when we talked last, I was doing the bullet journaling, which
Yes.
I remember at the time you made fun of me because you're like, this is so detailed and like complicated and like a learning curve.
I didn't make fun of you. I just didn't understand.
So I have kind of moved away from the bullet journaling, and I like that system. I just got bored with it. And I had all the pretty like pens, like the color pens, and my kids broke half of them. So wonk wonk.
Yeah.
Now what I'm doing is, I would say, like, somewhat similar. So I use my phone. I use the Google Calendar in my phone, and I enter everything in there as soon as I have a date or a time.
Wow.
I have to, because I don't know if you knew this, but
What?
I am chronically sleep deprived. And if I don't put an alarm on it, I won't show up where I'm supposed to go, which is very bad when you have 3 kids. So
I mean, you always show up where I need you because I just call you. But I can understand that it would get
which
very...
is so funny because Melissa will call me, and sometimes I'm busy, and so like I won't answer because I'm like, she just wants to talk about, like, food or cohesive home, one of the two.
I know.
But if
my
she
problems.
calls twice in a row, I know it's serious. And
It
so
is
I
serious, y'all.
Right? So anyway, sorry, I totally sidetracked there. But so I do the digital, which is great because my husband is a speech pathologist by day and then a musician by night, which is like super fun because we're always busy.
Yeah.
And so he won't keep a paper planner because he would lose it. And so we schedule everything in there. We have a calendar for family, we have a calendar for music, and one for cohesive home. I think that's it. And then I also have a paper planner, like just a basic, super basic day planner. And I've started putting like more details in there. So like homeschooling stuff, and nerd alert, I also will color code it. I remember.
Ooh, I love a good color coding though.
Right?
I will say, yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be purple. And so I gave myself my favorite color, and then the kids get,
Sorry, you're yellow.
wonk wonk.
Sorry for those yellow lovers out there.
I actually really love yellow, but it doesn't show up very well in a planner unless it's a highlighter.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is true. That's true.
So that's it. And, I also tend to forget my planner. So that's also why the digital makes a difference. It's probably overkill, but it's just,
No, I
seasons
honestly,
of life.
I wish that I could get into the whole digital thing more than I am now. I do use my alarm. Like,
Yeah.
if I know that I need to be somewhere at a certain time, I will put it in there and I'll put an alarm to it. Because there's some things and I'm like, yep, I know that I'm gonna forget that. I just know it.
Well, a
So
paper planner only works if you look at it.
yeah, exactly. But I
You know?
do. I
Yeah,
really
you're good
I
about that.
enjoy looking at it, knowing my day, and saying okay. And then if there's something that I feel like, oh man, I might forget that, then yeah, I'll put it in my like Google Calendar or whatever, my iPhone calendar. But I will say I do forget things sometimes, or I don't write them down, and then I'm screwed.
I think that's everybody though. I mean, especially if you have kids, it's like inevitable. So when you're at home, do you keep your planner out and open, or like how do you use it?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it'll just be like out over on the desk. It's always like within arm's reach. But if I haven't looked at it the day before, I'll typically look at it that morning. But now that school's starting, I know what our schedule is. So unless something is just put in there like an appointment or something that I just absolutely need to be reminded of that's not typical, then I'll put that in my phone. But for the most part, I love looking at the month. I love physically like it's laid out in front of me and I can go, oh, tomorrow or oh, Saturday we have this. So there's something very like peaceful about that for me. If I were to look at it on my phone, I would almost feel like I cannot see everything. This is freaking me out. I need to like be able to see everything written down. So I need to be able to see everything. But I will say I need to get better about using pencils because things do change, and
they do. Life is
I will
always
have
changing.
Yeah, I will definitely have a lot of scratchy things marked out, and that annoys me too. But
okay, so I have another question.
What's that?
So I know that you're kind of like unschool-ish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you
by
like
default?
Right. And again, listen to last Friday's episode.
Yes.
If you want more on that. But do you plan out your days? Like, do you think in advance what you're going to work on, or do you just kind of wing it each day? Like, do you plan for homeschooling?
So, okay, I will say, because I am so laid back, I have to have a schedule.
Yeah.
I have to have that list. So I have to look at it and go, okay, I'm going to do math 3 times this week, and we're going to do it these mornings. But I don't schedule it out to where like, oh, it is lesson plan 2, page 5. I just go, okay, I know that we're going to work on that day. And so I get it in somehow.
You know, I'm very similar to you, like obviously, as you know, and our approach is like pretty similar in that I tried initially to be very hyper organized, like, you know, like you said, like page by page.
Yeah.
And we're not those people.
Yep.
If you are a saint, and I need to learn from you, but I am not. And so, yeah, we do the same. I'm like, okay, I know that we need to do some reading and math most days. And Yep. I know where we're at in those things, but not in a very detailed way.
Exactly. But I think that's the beauty of homeschooling, is there are some people that are so just type A, you know, they can actually do those things and be on top of it 100% no matter what they are doing those lesson plans that day. But for you and I mean, yeah, it's just not my personality. And I've tried the very, you know, strict schedules, and I just hate it. I just hate it so much.
You're such a rebel.
Yes. But at the same time, I do need structure. There is an aspect of that. It's a loose structure, but it is structure. So again, the planner is where it just kind of all comes back to that. And yeah, I'll even write it in my little monthly box or daily boxes, you know, on my month calendar. I'll say, okay, math, you know, reading, okay, library this day. And so that's probably like I said, by default, why we say we unschool is because I am so kind of just like fly by the seat of my pants, which is probably totally screwing my kids up, but
Hey, you know what? Like we're going to screw them up either way. So at least,
So
be intentional in it.
So true. Yes, I'm very intentional and purposeful with my my
you go.
screwing up of my children.
Why don't you mark that one on your planner?
Tuesday the 9th, please. Screw my children up a little more. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds horrible.
No, but it's right. Like it's so true though. But we talked about that in another podcast about how both of our families value spontaneity. Mm-hmm. And I just think that that's kind of bleeds into all of our days. I mean, I think that that's like a nicer way of talking about our families instead of saying that we're like lazy and unscheduled.
I know. Well, like lazy would mean you don't do anything at all, right? But we are doing things. We just kind of go to the beat of our own drummer, if you will.
Yes. Well, and Melissa, something I think you and I have learned over the years as we've, been on our like minimalist journeys is that your scheduling is kind of similar. Like if it's completely cluttered and overwhelming, like you need to simplify it and just choose the activities that bring you joy. I mean, obviously, like not everything brings you joy. Like, I mean, I have to clean my kitchen. I don't particularly love it, right?
I have to teach my children math. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Right. And so obviously there's some things we have to do, but those things that aren't required, if it's not bringing happiness to your family, like just stop doing it.
Yep. And, if you're looking at your calendar and it just stresses you out to even look at it, that should probably be sort of a warning sign of your day-to-day needs to sort of be fixed. There's something that you don't want to wait. You need to take a step back and say, okay, what can I change about this? Because if it's just too cram-packed, or if you're using a pen and you cross it out too much and it stresses you out, maybe that's what you need to fix. Use a pencil. But no, definitely make sure that even just that block of time in that day isn't just freaking you out because it's too packed.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's something Kirk and I have started doing is just doing like a brain dump every day at night, like before we go to bed. Yeah, because like obviously there's the things on my planner and then there's the stuff in my head that's, like, oh no, I have to do this and this and this. Mm-hmm. And so we've started just making a very basic checklist and putting it on the fridge. Like these are the most important tasks that have to happen this week. Yeah. And it sounds like, I mean, that's kind of like what you do in your padfolio.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. Because if I need to start a new list or if I have something just that needs to get done, I write it down and it makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. It really does, because I'm not just overthinking it. I'm writing it out, I'm organizing that and giving it a priority and then moving on.
Yes. I totally agree, Melissa, because being organized is it's everything. It just makes a world of difference on a day-to-day basis if I am drowning or I am like sort of treading.
Yep. Those lists, I'm telling you, they change my world. Most days, if I can just write it down and I can look at it and prioritize what needs to be done, it just, gosh, it brings a peace about you sometimes. So I know that's what our friendship is. A lot of times you'll call me and say, oh, I've got this or this. And I'm like, okay, do this. And almost even hearing it from somebody else helps. And you do the same for me.
It really does. Yeah. Yeah. So, when you're panicking, call a friend.
Yeah.
Say, talk me off the ledge.
Yes.
And make me a list.
Yes. I love that.
Oh, well, we hope that you enjoyed this peek into just how we schedule our days and try to be organized. We aren't perfect. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure that comes across in these recordings. But we just hope that it has encouraged you to hear how two moms plan out their days.
Totally agreed. And if something isn't working, know that you can always change it up because we're really good at that.
Yes,
and we know that
are.
change is good.
Change is good.
Yay. But anyway, so before we go, we'd like to have a final word from our sponsor. Support for Cohesive Home comes from Kind, makers of healthy and delicious snacks that are made without genetically engineered ingredients, right here in the United States. To try 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay shipping, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome for all the details.
Thank you so much for listening today to the Cohesive Home podcast. A quick shout out to iTunes listener Cutie Pie Honeybun 07. Thank you so much for your incredibly kind review. And if you appreciate what we're doing, will you leave us a review on iTunes? Because then maybe next time we'll be giving you a shout out on an upcoming episode. We'll see you next time.